Now, this is what we could talk about.
Okay.
Is the fact that as we've done each one of these videos, the desk area has become so much cleaner looking,
Uh huh.
and we've actually been able to make things disappear because they're all under this little canopy that covers up the clutter I didn't get to.
I want to do it. That'll be our conversation.
We're recording.
Oh, we are recording. I tell you, I love our natural recordings. I love our natural radio. I love our natural TV, and I'm loving our natural videotaping because you're a work in progress. I have watched a transformation that if I would have seen this, I would have known that we started out with a desk that had stuff on it.
Yeah, some
And
clutter.
now we have a desk that looks pretty squared away. It's just I think that my life needs to have this cloth. Maybe we could have something like this that duplicates this in our room so that when I know that company is coming,
I thought that was called a closet.
I I you know we I am right now in the process of creating the company room.
Aha, I would like to have one of those.
The room that you direct all of your company and you don't let them go not 1 inch further in that house than that one room.
The only problem I have with that is that between this room and the bathroom is another room.
Yeah, you got to put your bathroom up closer to that room.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just move it right there.
Yeah, right. And that's what these new real quick makeover artists in houses are doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving bathrooms and they're moving things that could make this, and but this room is certainly a room that is yours because it has your stuff.
Oh, and lots of stuff.
And stuff is good. And I look around. I try to when I try to visit people, I try to visit that room like this one because that room like this one
Tells a lot.
Oh, it says a lot about who a person is and about that person's personality. I found out in those artificial front rooms, those rooms where you take company, the people take on an artificial air. They actually take on a new persona. They act different. They speak different.
So if you really want to get to know your company, you want to take them to a room where they can just let it all hang out.
Yes, and so what? Now I'll tell you the room. Since you know what I do when I'm not here is to feed people and talk to people about problems. I have the room. I have the room that that all men, if they're going to get engaged to a woman, they should get engaged in the kitchen. The kitchen is the room.
The room?
That is the room where, if Vivian, if you and I were in your kitchen, and I've been in your kitchen, it is so much of you. I look around and look at your seasonings. I look at your herbal kind of things that make you with herbal things, and it really almost speaks of you as who you are as a human being.
You know, I have to say that whole kitchen thing and getting engaged. I mean, I've just never. I mean, when I think of things like that, a lot of times you see these things like on TV where the guy proposes at the ballpark, and it comes up on the big screen, or he proposes over the radio, or and they're sitting at a restaurant somewhere, or all these kinds of things where they make it's a very public kind of thing. Where if the woman really wanted to refuse, she's kind of on the spot.
She couldn't do it. No, she couldn't be very honest with you. She couldn't tell the truth, and that's why I always think that you should get in the place, and I think that a lot of life is lived in the kitchen.
It is if you've got one that's pretty functional.
Oh yeah, even even those that quote are not the typical kind of kitchen, the little kitchenette kind of things that people have now. They live in it. They snack in it. They have a television in it. They sit on the little bar and they watch the news. And while they're cooking the children's dinner or the husband's supper, they're making it. And usually, if there's a little intimate couple,
Yeah.
that's where they're going to eat.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of working on right now is getting things rearranged in my kitchen that I could put one of the little TVs in there and even hook it up to cable, because
Yeah,
I've done that before in the kitchen.
sure.
And and then even maybe have the DVD player hooked up to it. So when we're sitting at the table and I'm fixing, Riley some breakfast, she tends to get a little distracted if she doesn't get continuous attention
Yeah,
and wants to wander around. So this way she could watch Barney or she could watch Teletubbies, and at least have something that would kind of keep her focused on staying put because that helps when you're trying to cook.
yes, it
Not to
does.
have them underfoot because that can be a
It can be a hazard.
it can be a hazard.
Yeah, make you trip up with something very hot. But I think that that if you're like me, what I do since I have little children, and I cook, I fix a place where the children can sit. I said, now you go and sit in your chairs
Mhm.
because some of our real good conversation is happening while they're eating their cocoa pops
Uh
or
huh.
their little things while they're just getting from school and they're talking to you, and you're doing your work, and the kids open up. Now I noticed that in my room that it's my company room.
Mhm.
When my children sit in there with me, they're quiet.
Uh huh.
Dad is watching the news. Dad is watching the war and what's going on in the world, and I don't want to interrupt him. But when I'm in the kitchen, I notice that they'll talk to me, particularly while I'm cooking. Dad, I had a problem at school today.
Uh huh.
Those kind of things, and particularly my 13-year-old daughter, talking to her. I found out that I'm more of a stone, stern father in the living television room, that artificial room
Right.
for company. But in the kitchen, I'm kind of a loving guy. And with my little greasy
And
hands.
that does make all the difference.
Oh, it makes a difference. I take my hands, and I always tell people that for men, if it were not for having children, our hands would always be greasy. Because what I do and I do it almost unconsciously, while I'm buttering bread or making mashed potatoes or something. My little boy will come and I give him a hug and I notice my hands are clean. My little boy isn't so clean. I
Uh huh.
notice when I know he had little spots of mashed potato on his
My
hands.
little boy wasn't so clean today either.
No, your little
And he's
boy.
26.
That's right. He's still just like all children. And like all children, I look at the support that children need from all of us.
Mhm.
And sometimes that support don't sound like it's support when you're telling him to do something and then he's arguing about it and all. That is what kids miss. And I
Mhm.
think that's what human beings really miss.
Yeah.
That study, they still expect their moms and dads to say something to them.
Well,
And sometimes,
maybe some of them do.
oh yeah, yeah. I always think whenever I've talked to girls that were in my shelter about moms and dads, and where does moms and dads fit in your life,
Mhm.
even when you get big. And I've had girls that look at me as I take care of my kids and said, "Boy, I wish my daddy was like that to
Yeah.
me." And I mean, that's when I'm doing the harshest things to my kids.
Yeah.
When I'm fussing at them, and I mean, I am boiling over. I've seen a girl look at me and say, "Boy, I wish my dad did that to me."
Yeah, because a lot of children believe and they feel as if the parent if the parent really cared, that is what they would do, is they'd make a
Yes,
comment. we're gonna wrap this part up right now so that we can
Good.
go on to something else.
Good.